He's a Bloomington favorite, a former Indiana Mr. Basketball, and an avid real estate agent at that. It was Anthony Leal who put up a career night. The senior guard hasn't seen much playing time in his 4-year career, but he has stayed ready. With the Crimson Guard back in attendance for the first time since winter break, the Cream and Crimson fed off their energy like they have all season long. Indiana has moved all the way up to the 6th seed at the Big Ten tournament. Yeah, you heard me correctly, the 6th seed. This team was as low as 12 just mere weeks ago, and they have just risen all the way up and are in prime position to make a deep run in the Big Ten tournament. Now, is Mike Woodson and company really concerned about a deep run at this current point?
Listen, we're playing as good as any team in the country right now.
Well, it rained threes inside of Simon Scott Assembly Hall here tonight, and Indiana came away with the dominating victory, 83-66. Hayden Smith alongside Audrey Marr for the Hoosier Network. Audrey, seems like the first time in forever that Indiana has hit this many threes, 12 as a team, and it was really Malik Renew that led the charge. I mean, it's huge because this Indiana team, especially going into the halftime break, it looked like they were ready to just fold and go into the offseason. So with this victory, it's going to give them a little bit more momentum, but they have to continue to capitalize on that. They just haven't been able to do that whenever Big Ten play has begun. Well, amidst all the chaos and commotion here in the Simon Scott Assembly Hall, where everybody was forced to evacuate the building, Indiana still found a way to get it done and defeated the Wisconsin Badgers 74-70 to end their 4-game losing streak. I mean, this is a kid that's really just been waiting for his opportunity to really shine at the fullest level, and he really got that opportunity here today against Penn State, and he's just been flat out phenomenal all season long for Indiana whenever they've needed him, especially without Trey Galloway today. They needed another guy to get those buckets. But I'm going to go in a different direction and say Anthony Walker, because I really enjoyed his game against UND. Granted, it's an exhibition game. You're going to expect some other guys to produce a little bit more than they're probably going to produce in the regular season. But he was a key glue guy for Miami's Final Four run last year, and I think he could provide a very similar situation with the Indiana Hoosiers this season.
What do you guys got?
It's you're exactly right. It's a shot in the dark because all we've seen from Indiana is one exhibition game, and like you said, there's just so much roster turnover that there's too many questions and you don't know what you're going to get from this group. So based off of that fact alone, I think Indiana is going to be lucky to get around 10 games that they win in the Big Ten Conference. The Hoosiers have now won 3 in a row and moved to 2nd place in the Big Ten standings. A team that was on bubble watch merely a month ago has now become one of the hottest teams in the country. Another one shining moment in the national championship Monday night with 2 improbable teams making their way to Houston. The 5th-seeded San Diego State Aztecs, in their first ever national championship appearance, looked to take down the red-hot UConn Huskies, who look toward banner number 5. Lions trying to fight back, but Stafford forces the issue, and it's picked off by Kenny Moore, who takes it back for 6. Colts are dominating the Lions as they now go up 34-14, and players starting to have a little bit of fun in Detroit. Once again, taking a look, Stafford just trying to force the ball up the field, but who is he playing for? He must think he's wearing Indy blue today. Is not looking good. Lions fans, you got to look away from this game. Shifting now to the NBA, where LeBron James officially cements his name in NBA scoring history, the record that stood nearly 4 decades, broken by the 38-year-old Lakers superstar Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, courtside as LeBron James passes his all-time scoring record. James has no plans of hanging it up anytime soon, so he looks to continue his dominance late in his career. Jalen Hood-Schifino step back and ties the game, buries it from deep. This one would go to overtime. In the extra period, Miller Kopp with a killer shot from the corner to extend the lead to 7. The Hoosiers would not relinquish that lead, and they emerge victorious over Michigan to give themselves that much-needed double bye in the Big Ten tournament. A surely up-and-down regular season comes to an end for the Hoosiers, but now they shift their focus to the Big Ten tournament in Chicago. Well, you can definitely feel it in the air as the leaves begin to change color, and it's definitely getting colder outside. You know what that means. Basketball season is right around the corner. Terry Morin's team returns nearly the entire starting 5, along with All-American Mackenzie Holmes, and on the other hand, Mike Woodson's team is bringing in 10 new faces to this season's roster, which will make for a very interesting experiment. Racing Louisville's Savannah DeMello has exploded onto the scene in just her second year with the club, leading the team in every major statistical category. But it hasn't always been smooth sailing for DeMello.
I think I took it for granted, kind of when I'm playing. I had never been injured before. When it's kind of taken away from you, you just realize how much more you want it.
During DeMello's sophomore season at USC, a torn Achilles put her out for the rest of the season and the year after.
But after the injury, it was really hard. An Achilles is a hard injury to come back from, and I was in a pretty good spot, and then just kind of going from 100% to 0% was pretty gut-wrenching, but it kind of just made me hungrier to come back.
And that she did. DeMello was drafted by Racing Louisville in 2022 and made an immediate impact, turning into one of the club's most talented young pieces. An MVP caliber season has turned heads from around the league, delivering 8 goals and 3 assists across all competition, dominating every time she steps onto the pitch. Finally, sitting in her home on a summer afternoon, DeMello got the call.
I just called to let you know that we selected you for the roster for the World Cup.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I wouldn't joke with something like that.
I think my heart just kind of sank for a little bit, just because it was so it's truly, and it's honestly something that hasn't really hit me, I don't think, fully yet. But it just time kind of stops for a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Congratulations.
But even though DeMello will be representing the Stars and Stripes at the World Cup, the city of Louisville will always be her first love.
I just want to make the city and the team and everybody proud. And I think just being me and going out there and just being who I am on and off the field is going to do just that.
Hayden Smith, WDRB Sports. For almost 2 decades, Borden, Indiana has been a home to the Nash family. Now entering his 19th year as Borden High School's boys basketball coach, Doc Nash has taken the time to reflect back on why he stayed in this community for so long.
Why not? I've had opportunity to leave, but why? I keep going back to why. I love it here. It's my home.
5 sectional titles, 2 regional titles, and a state championship in 2013 come from that illustrious 18-year career. A career that has seen Doc's impact go beyond the hardwood.
The heart and the toughness that he gets out of his players, not just my own boys, but all the players. Their willingness to just get super tough and do everything he wants out of them.
But coaching for 18 years certainly doesn't come without its challenges.
The nights scouting and the nights away, eating a cold home-cooked meal when I forgot to tell my wife I was going somewhere for a basketball event, and she has supper cooked, and then she's upset because I'm not home to eat a hot meal and I have to eat it cold. Those are difficult times. But these guys have figured out how to navigate me and navigate the coaching life, I guess you would say.
Doc and Misty's 2 sons, Casem and Kylan, say they've always had a sense of competition between the 2 of them. But after playing a season of varsity basketball next to each other, that competitiveness has blossomed into a deeper connection of brotherhood.
Obviously, me and him had a big role towards the end of the season. Obviously, he stepped into the starting position, so it was kind of like we had to have each other's back even more than normal. He had to be there for me. I had to be there for him. It's just a connection. I feel like we got a lot closer last year.
Now, as the youngest member of the Nash family prepares to enter his senior season, Doc took a timeout and looked back on his family's time spent in Borden.
Just getting to know people and the relationships I've formed, I know so many more people in my last 18 years, people I can count on like a brother. That's probably the most rewarding.